Hello and welcome to the Leverage Podcast. I'm Paul Richard, your host today, and we have some special guests with us, Gary and Rachel Tebbets. It's nice to have you two with us from your local Wendy's parking lot, it looks like. How are you doing?
We are great. How are you, sir?
That's fantastic. So we had the opportunity to meet through the Courageous Business Networking Group. I think it was the first time we connected there. And I'm looking forward to this interview with you guys to understand a little bit more about who you are and your background, and then how you got into this Artfully Maid Services business, cleaning services. Tell me all about it, please.
Well, I come from a very colorful background. I started in music, and I'm still very much about music, but it doesn't pay the bills. I drove truck for 15 years, and I was always a very clean person to begin with, but I honestly didn't know anything about clean until I started with this. I met her in 2023. I've been widowed. I lost my first wife to cancer in 2020. And just, through dating and this and that, we met. And she said, "Oh, by the way, I've got a cleaning business." And early last year, I'd kind of been helping part-time, doing things here and there for the business, but, just dabbling here and there. Early last year, she was really on me about just throwing caution to the wind and go full time and see where it goes. Let's pray about it. Let's do it. And I'm just like, nah. This is all I've known. I'm stuck. I got to stay here. And, but I was also very burned out. I was also very, very over it. And she finally, I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I mean, the Lord gave us an opportunity to move forward. And this has been a solid year almost. We've been doing this full time. We picked up 3 property management companies. We have over 20 residential clients per month. We have a lot of fly-by-night, car detailings and carpet cleaning, stuff like that, which are services we offer, which I guess I never touched on that. But it's been the difference in day and night, going from that to this and having to overcome, a lot of anxieties that come with being a W-2 employee and going from that to an owner or part owner. It's been pretty interesting. Her background, she comes from psychology of all things. And it just didn't seem like the right path once she got going. And so she had done some janitorial gigs here and there for MSU, places like that. And then she decided to start her own company, and she slowly transitioned over into that in 2018 and started building her own list of clientele. And then, the two worlds collided. So here we are.
Fantastic. Well, that's terrific. And so the cleaning idea there, you said you're also doing automobiles, et cetera. So you'll clean just about anything. Is that what I'm hearing? If
just
called
about,
upon?
Yeah.
Anything interior.
There's a delay here, so I'm a little, but we will pretty much tackle anything within reason. I mean, when it comes to certain cleanings, the other certifications and stuff like that, we have to walk away from, mainly because it costs more for the certification than the job is worth. But, we've had some pretty hairy situations. When it comes to residential, we tell people we don't discriminate. We clean everything from North Springfield to Highland Springs and everything in between. So, it's pretty much a mixed bag as far as that stuff is concerned. So, yeah, we're open to pretty much anything within reason. So,
fantastic. So what percentage approximately of your business is residential versus commercial?
I would say
80%.
Right now it's about 80%
residential.
When we do commercial, we're talking about, turnover cleans for property management companies, move-in cleans, move-out cleans, realtors that need a shining up on stuff for pictures to get houses photo ready, that type of stuff. We really don't do a lot of janitorial. We've got one coming up maybe on a contract, but we're still talking about it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the residential side of it. And then each client we have, we try to tailor our jobs per client, like what they need, what's important to them. Otherwise, we're just going to go to the sanitary areas, clean them, dust everything else, and leave. We have one client; she's very particular about her banisters, her stairwells, that type of stuff. She likes it to be show ready, so we make sure every time we're there show ready, and then we kind of touch on other things as we go. So it's just as an example there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just interviewed on a podcast a car detailer that has a shop up in Springfield, and he really made it clear that he likes to make the car look like it's brand new inside, if you want to look at it that way. And that's kind of the thing where, if you're doing a deep clean, that would be more in that category, I would think. Do you differentiate? How do you differentiate a deep clean versus kind of a dusting off clean, if you would?
It really is just by sight. Usually, if our first time cleans are all deep cleans, initial cleans with our residential clients, number one, they're always a little higher on the higher end because we have to pretty much deep clean as much as we can just to get you in a rotation. But most of the time, if it's a very huge home, we do a rotation deep clean where, for example, I'll deep clean the bathroom, she'll deep clean the kitchen, and we'll just kind of dust and maintain the rest of the house. The next time we come in, we'll deep clean the living room. Like I'll do the living room, she'll do the master bedroom, bath, and then we'll dust everything else. We try to rotate it around. Most homes, if they're below 2,000 square feet, we can pretty much manage to deep clean everything in the first cleaning. But it just depends on the situation. It depends on what the client's looking for. And most of the time we start off going, okay, we'll just dust this. And then I go, oh, I'm OCD. It needs a lot more, and so we're back at the negotiating table, so sometimes the lines get blurred, but that's just based on preference, really.
Do you normally do a free quotation for somebody when you're doing at least your first clean?
Yes. Estimates have always been free, and we'd like to continue to leave them free. We cover pretty much the whole Springfield area, the burbs, suburbs. We cover them too, outskirts. I found out today that somebody asked me how far out we go, and I said Cleaver, and I was wrong. It's actually pronounced Clever. So sorry if I offended anybody. But anyway, yeah, that would pretty much be like the outskirts for us. Clever, Highlandville, Pleasant Hope. That'd pretty much be the edge of the area for us.
Okay. And then to the east, do you go to like Rogersville?
Yeah, matter of fact, we live in Rogersville. So we do Rogersville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll go to Marshfield. I don't have much of a market up there, but we'll do Marshfield, Republic. That'd be like the farthest west we go. We have clients in Willard. So yeah, that'd pretty much be the span of it.
Okay. And then I'm guessing Ozark and Nixa, yes?
Oh yeah. We do a lot of turnovers in Nixa. Republic. One of our property management companies has lots of townhomes in Republic. So we're down there quite a bit.
Okay. Fantastic. So a couple things like on the cleaning side of products that you use. I know there's some that are preferring natural cleaners, and I even know of one that uses one of the rainbow vacuums, if you will, and no dust and no debris in the air, that kind of thing. How do you approach, give me an idea. How do you guys approach that area? Is it specific to the client if they want to have those, I guess, biologically compatible type products versus, your harsher cleaners, that type of thing? Give me an idea of how you guys address that issue.
We have cleaning products from both sides of the spectrum, everything from skull and crossbones all the way over to natural, because we value our clients and potential clients' opinions on how they keep their homes. And so, if we run into a situation where we're in a completely natural home and they've got an area that the natural product's not going to tackle, I'm going to be upfront and say, I can clean this with this. Otherwise, I can't get the stain out, because natural products sometimes do not cover the gist of what you need to get rid of, whatever you're trying to get rid of. But yeah, that's all based on client perspective, and what they're looking for in a cleaner. And, we cover all sides of it. And, we don't try to push, any cleaners on anybody. We just suggest them, because I know sometimes people have allergies, people have, like you said, dust allergies and these types of things. So we definitely try to keep our clientele out of the hospital as much as possible. But I always suggest people, and I know it gets forgotten a lot, as the homeowner or tenant or whatever, it's your responsibility to make sure your air is clean. And how you do that is clean your furnace filter or replace your furnace filter. A lot of people don't do that. And it shows, because when I deep clean a house and I come back 2 weeks later and everything's still covered in dust, it's because your furnace filter really needs to be replaced. And honestly, that would take care of a lot of buildup in the long run. And so I highly suggest that. Plus, they're cheap. I mean, a lot of people say, well, my husband does it every 6 months. My husband does it every 90 days. Honestly, if you have one dog in the house, you need to be replacing your furnace filter on the monthly. And so I highly suggest that, as far as, keeping things clean. It keeps your home a lot cleaner, the air a lot cleaner, because, like I said, most of our clients are biweekly. And, it's hard for me to be there cleaning the air every day. So, but anyway.
Sure. No, that's good. That's good. That was my next question, is what is the most common frequency for cleaning like that? So about twice a month is typical.
Yeah, that's pretty much typical. We no longer offer a monthly spot, mainly because, our busy season consists of a lot of turnovers. And since it's just the two of us doing scheduling, we try to, it's easier to remember bi-weekly clients and weekly clients, just being straight up. And so we quit offering monthly. And besides, when it comes to monthly and the home hasn't had their furnace filter changed in 6 months, you're starting over again with the cleaning every time you go in there. So we're basically just down to every 2 weeks and weekly now.
Very good. Very good. In all cases, do you bring in all the equipment and the cleaners and that,
yeah.
or do you leave some at the site? How does that work?
No, we bring everything with us. Matter of fact, our insurance requires we have to use our own stuff, and it's for safety. Just off the cuff, if something happened in the client's home and we were using all of their stuff, our insurance wouldn't cover it, because they are our employer, because we're using all of their stuff. So no, we use all of our own stuff. I've got a fleet of vacuum cleaners that we go through the whole fleet every week. We have vacuums we keep for our high-end clientele. We have vacuums we use for our middle class and clientele, and vacuums for our turnover cleans, because they all consist of different cleanliness environments, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And so we don't want to cross-contaminate, in my opinion, one home to the other, right? Which I might be using a really strong word there, but I come from, starting my working career as a teenager in fast food. I learned a lot about cross-contamination and those types of things. So we definitely don't like to, take a vacuum from a move out where it was really bad and take it to, Highland Springs. We don't do that. So.
I see. That didn't even occur to me about that particular idea, I guess, of using multiple vacuums for different ones. So, and then is there a lot of maintenance on vacuums that you have to do to keep them operating and at highest efficiency?
Uh, basically you just keep them clean inside and out. You keep the filters clean. Um, and they'll run forever. We have a particular brand we like to use, which will remain nameless for the podcast, but we love them. We'll stand behind them all day long. Um, and they're trustworthy. Like I said, as long as you keep them clean, they'll run forever. And we torture them, so I can vouch for that.
Very good. Do you do window cleaning, interior window cleaning, or anything like that as well?
Yes, we do. Window cleaning is a whole separate service. We do outside, inside, and tracks. When it comes to multiple stories, we're still pretty limited on what we can do. I might be able to get about 8 or 10 feet off the ground. That's about it. But I can guarantee you that window will look brand new when I'm done.
Nice. That's fantastic. When you're doing detailing of cars, do you go to the car or do you bring it to a shop, or how does that work?
We have an option. We can be mobile. We can go to where they live, or we can have them bring the vehicle to us. Normally, we just go to where they're at because I've got the equipment. I just got to plug into electricity, plug into water. I'm good to go. And that way, they're not driving the car back home with a little bit of a damp seat or whatever. I really don't want to take a risk of that. And I tell everybody, when we're done doing what we do, you really need to give it up to 72 hours for everything to completely dry inside, depending on how bad it is. But more often than not, I get it pretty dry before we're even out of there. But it's just a disclaimer, I don't want anybody to come back and have a complaint. And trust and believe, if you do have a complaint, we're going to take care of you. But as long as you're nice about it. But we will take care of you.
Okay. You were talking about turnovers. Is that normally like nightly rental turnovers? Is that what you're describing there?
Yeah, turnover, clean, move in, move out, clean. It's same thing, different terms. But yeah, that's all for property management companies, landlords that have rentals. They call us, say, hey, we got one ready. We show up, clean it top to bottom, inside and out. We make it look as brand new as possible for the next tenants. And honestly, for what they charge for rent now, I'd expect to wind up clean before I move in.
Absolutely. Are you typically doing linen cleaning at those as well?
You mean like the residential stuff? Yeah, it's yeah, like we said. Oh, you say live in or linen? I'm sorry.
Linen, like when you're turning over a property, are you washing the sheets and pillowcases and that type of thing?
No. We're not a turn down service. When we do turnovers, like for property management companies, the homes and apartments, they're all empty. We're just going in, doing the walls, doing the toilets, doing the tubs, doing the inside of the fridge, inside of the stove, pulling everything out, doing the inside of the closets. I mean, every nook and cranny we can find. We're making sure it's ready and clean for the next tenants.
What would you say is your separate, well, let me think how to rephrase this. What would you say is your unique selling proposition in regards to, other competitors that are doing cleaning? How do you address that issue?
I would say, first of all, it's always going to be us. It's us and a very small team of people. We don't send random people to your house. I'm not going to send, if I hire somebody new, I'm going to make sure that they're trustworthy, they've got integrity, they're going to do the job. I don't have to worry about going in behind them and following up, because I don't want to send people in there that are going to do a half job and then the customer is going to complain later. Now, you take that risk with anybody, but we always accompany everybody to first times, and we check in, and everybody has their own clients. You know, we don't rotate because we want our clients to be comfortable with their cleaner. I mean, sure, if I have to cover or we have to cover somebody or because they're sick or whatever, that's one thing. But we try to pair everybody up that way. Everybody's happy. There's no surprises, you know, and that's a huge selling point. One of the things that we've heard a lot is it's always somebody different. It's always somebody new. They don't know what I like. They don't know what needs to be cleaned, and so we just avoid that altogether.
Understood. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And so as you grow, are you going to limit that so that you guys are always involved, or do you see your ability to maybe grow and add additional teams in the future? How's that going to work?
Definitely, the goal of this is to, if the Lord blesses, make it self-run. Um, but even at that point, you know, I still want to have assigned teams going to assigned clients, and we'll still be going in and taking care of, you know, making sure things are getting done. We'll still be monitoring our residentials, so on and so forth, um, because that's basically what it comes down to. I have enough management experience to where, you know, I would never let that go because at the end of the day, this is our company and this our name is on the line, and we stand behind what we do.
Very good. As far as pricing, are you typically pricing it based on the number of hours it takes or the number of square feet? How do you typically do your pricing?
Our price, yeah, would you like to answer a question?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I said size and condition.
Nice.
Yeah. It just varies. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, size and condition and what all they're wanting done. And I would say prices could be anywhere from 120 to 900. It just really depends. I know that's a huge broad thing, but we do it by the job versus the hour usually.
Sure. Understood. Sure. Uh, Talk about flooring. What typically, I see a lot of different types of hard surface flooring out there. When you're doing, let's say, let's start with tile. Do you do grout cleaning and all that type thing with them when you're doing the initial cleaning? Very good. Very good. Well, some of the manufactured floors, laminates, etc. How do you clean those typically, and what products do you use on those based on, the type of surface like that? Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, well, that's fantastic. So I think we've covered most of the things that I was thinking about as far as questions. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close out the podcast? Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Gary and Rachel Tebbets today on the Leverage Podcast. Thank you guys for being with us. I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you and getting referrals going your direction. All right. So, guys, take care. Thank you.